Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are all doing well, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope you guys are healthy. So today's video is going to be a quick guide, tips and tricks, really whatever you want to call it, basically telling you guys how you should list your items on secondhand sites like Grail, Depop, eBay, whatever platform you want to use. I'm going to give you a list of things that you probably should have in your description just so that buyers will be more comfortable purchasing your item, in turn making you more money quicker, which who doesn't want that? So if you don't know who I am, my name is Josh and I like talking about clothes and personal style. If that's your type of thing, feel free to stick around, maybe subscribe if you dig what you watch. And before anybody asks, this beautiful avant-garde piece that I have on is just a Snuggie that I wrapped around my body because I am freezing. So let's get right into the video. First things first, I hope this helps people out there if you are new to selling or maybe want to improve the way that you sell on Grail, Depop, whatever it may be. But first things first is going to be pictures. Definitely get clear pictures and pictures of the entire garment to show people really the overall shape, construction, and kind of the condition that your piece is in, just because you want to be as transparent as possible when you're a seller. It's super important to make sure that the buyer knows exactly what they're going to be buying. So definitely get front pictures, back pictures, pictures of any defects or damage on the actual item, as well as the tags that are on the item as well. So aside from pictures, you definitely want to utilize whatever is given to you by the platform and make sure you classify the garment by brand and category. A lot of other platforms like Grail and Depop will have that available to you where it's this is an outerwear piece, a pant, a shirt, whatever. Utilize those so that people can find your piece a whole lot better. Also classify it by brand, which helps a lot. Sometimes items have a specific item number, model number, or something. The best example would definitely be Nike shoes. Let me actually grab you one right now to show you. So on different shoes, especially Nike shoes or Adidas shoes or really anything else, they will have a tag on the inside of the shoe. This one happens to be on the insole. It's not always like that, so just try and find the tag on the inside of your shoes. Sometimes it's a little difficult, but you will see a tag like this. This is super important. This will tell you the size in multiple different countries, as well as there is a number right here in the middle. Usually in the middle, it's usually a series of letters and numbers followed by a dash and 3 numbers. That is going to be your model number and color code for Nike shoes. It's different for other companies as well, so keep that in mind. If there is a model number, try to put it there as well. Next up, mention where the garment is made if that information is available to you, and it helps as well if you put the composition of the actual garment. If it's 100% cotton, if it's a blend of other materials, just put that in the description as well if you can. Another really important thing, arguably one of the most important things that you can put into your description, is the sizing. Put whatever size it says on the tag, as well as, and this is a very important part, as well as any discrepancies in sizing. If it's meant to fit oversized, put that down. If it's meant to fit slim, put that down. Very important for tops, jackets, pants, everything. Any discrepancies in sizing, make sure to put that if you know. And another really useful thing to put down into your description is if you are willing to ship internationally. That is super important, especially for people who are buying from outside of their country. I remember I once had to ship a hat to Taiwan and it costed me $50 on top of whatever the person paid, which is crazy just for a hat. So definitely keep in mind, mention if you're willing to ship internationally, because it really helps. So I won't really give you advice on pricing just because there's such a variation and I'm just trying to generalize this video, but price things, just generally speaking, price things at prices that are reasonable and make people want to look at your items. You can always look up other people's listings for the same items, see what the competing prices are for, and usually if you have the lowest listed price for the same item, people will look at your listing more often than the others. Next up is another super vital, super important aspect of listing your items on secondhand websites. Put measurements. Super, super important. Definitely put measurements if you are listing things, and when you put measurements, it is pretty useful for you to list them in both inches and centimeters. Also, you're gonna want to state that say how you took these measurements. Usually I take my measurements laying flat, which is by far the easiest, and it is definitely in your best interest to go to like a craft store or something and just get some measuring tape. So with measurements, and with measurements taken laying flat, generally speaking, you can just kind of double the number, and that's approximately what the circumference is. So first off is going to be t-shirts, long sleeves, jackets, really anything. Generally speaking, you're going to need the same exact measurements with all these types of garments. So for this shirt, you can see that there is a shoulder seam, and on the other side, another shoulder seam. So shoulder to shoulder is just this shoulder seam to this shoulder seam while laying flat. Pretty important one. My most important is going to be right here, armpit to armpit. Super vital. Definitely, if you're not going to have any other measurement, pit to pit is super important. And pit to pit as well as length. You can take the length from the armpit all the way to the bottom hem. You can take it from collar to hem, or you can take it from just basically back of the collar to the hem. Any length is super important. So length and width. And also you can also take measurements on the sleeve itself as well. So the sleeve, I usually measure from the top of the shoulder all the way to the end down here. That works with jackets, that works with long sleeve shirts, it works with anything. So for shirts, you need shoulder to shoulder, pit to pit, sleeve length, and body length. Next up for measurements are going to be pants. Pants, shorts, really any bottoms. So first and foremost, you're gonna wanna get your waist size. State whatever the company says the waist size is, and also measure it yourself. So the waist is going to be laying flat from here to here. Next, most important, is going to be the rise. Rise is going to start from like the top of the button all the way down to the bottom of the crotch. So from here to here. The outseam is going to be from the top of the hip all the way down to the outside hem. The inseam, which I find extremely important, is going to be from the bottom of the rise to the inside hem right here. So from the bottom of the rise to the inside hem. And then lastly, the hem itself. So from here to here. If you give those basic measurements, usually you'll be all right, so long as you state like, oh hey, these fit slim, these fit wide, these fit straight leg. Give as much descriptive information as you can. And so that should be it for pants, if I'm not mistaken. Next up is shoes. Shoes are different just because you can give whatever stated shoe size, say it fits bigger or smaller, but if you really do want to give measurements, you can go ahead and measure from the top of the insole to the bottom of the insole, as well as from the top of the outsole to the bottom of the outsole. Those are really the only two measurements that you can give for shoes. So in regard to shoes, there is multiple different sizes that you could list, and it's really important that you specify which size that you are stating it in. So there is a US size. I'm a US size 9, which equates usually to a UK size 8, which also equates to an EU size 42-ish, 42, and that also equates to a Japanese 27. So a size 9 US, a size 8 UK, 42 EU, and a 27 Japanese size. And that's specifically for a size 9 US. And a couple of other things to consider is that clothing can be super unpredictable. Depending on the flexibility of the fabric, some sizes may not fit uniformly, and a size large doesn't always fit like a size large. So always pay attention to measurements when you are buying something. So it is actually pretty important to keep in mind where the clothes are made. Usually say like something that's made in Japan from like Visvim Capital, really, if it's made in Japan, it tends to fit a lot smaller than a lot of American standards or European standards. And when in doubt, if you learn anything from this video, when in doubt, communicate. Ask the seller questions. Do everything that you can to make yourself more comfortable making a purchase. And if you're the seller, do everything that you can to make your buyer more comfortable with purchasing. It's just kind of common sense and it's common courtesy if you're ever selling anything. So another really just huge point I want to make here, because I've been burned multiple times on this: use proper packaging. So shoes should be double boxed, and what that means is that you have your shoe, you have the shoe box, the original shoe box, if you have it. You don't just tape that up and send it off. You put the shoe box into another box so that the other person who may possibly value that packaging can actually use that for storage. You double box your shoes, please. And don't try to put things into packaging that doesn't fit. That's happened to me like a couple of times, and it's super irritating because it could kind of compress it and change the shape of like maybe the shoe that you bought, or it might kind of press a seam where you don't want that seam to be pressed or whatever. Use proper packaging. And one just kind of buyer beware, just so that you guys know, avoid sending people money directly, whether it's on Venmo, Zelle, Cash App. If you are scammed, PayPal, Grail, Depop usually will have your back if you are the buyer and you are scammed. Don't send people money directly. That is the easiest way for you to get scammed. Unless you trust them and really trust them and know them personally, don't buy things or don't send people money directly. So that was a lot of information. I hope this helps you guys out somehow, some way. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys use this, and I hope you guys are able to sell and buy things more securely. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below or DM me. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do what you do. And really, that's all I got for you guys today. So until my next video, I will catch you guys later.